Welcome to the Marvel Cinematic University podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Canton III, and we are here for a two-pronged episode. One thing that we're doing is we're going to discuss the Marvel rumors that's been going on. We got Avengers Doomsday in delays. We got some Spider-Man Brand New Day stuff going on, so we have to talk about that. But if you're interested in what we have going after that, we will be having a full-on discussion of Mission Impossible Final Reckoning, and you could skip to
23 minutes.
and with that being said, as far as we got with Mission Impossible, if you love that conversation, if you enjoy that conversation, patreon.com/MC University Pod, where you can not only get our bonus content, but get all the other 7 films of Mission Impossible that we went into great detail. And you can get that for $3 and our entire back catalog of episodes, plus the Discord and everything that we got going on there. Appreciate everybody for listening and supporting and waiting for us as we came back from a week hiatus, but happy to be back. And with that being said, let me introduce first the super producer, Jake Christie. Jake, how are you?
I'm doing well generally. We had the week hiatus because I was on vacation. I had a great vacation in the wonderful city of St. Augustine. Really recommend it. If you want like a chill beach place with a lot of good restaurants, a lot of great history, it's the oldest city in the United States. The Jamestown propaganda. People get taught Jamestown. No. St. Augustine's 50 years earlier. It just was founded by the Spanish. People forget it. It's the oldest buildings in the country. It's really awesome. But of course, as happens when you travel, I'm now sick. I just took some cold medicine, so I'm feeling a jolt. But if I taper off towards the end of the pod, it's because the damn whatever I got on that plane with the recycled air is getting me.
And glad to be talking with Jake again, and glad to be talking with our guest, our pal. We leave the key under the mat, and he comes back every time. Rod Morrow, aka the black guy who tips. Rod, welcome back to the program. How you doing, sir?
Hey y'all, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate y'all reaching out. You know, I love Tom and definitely ready to talk some impossible with y'all.
Yes, and we will get to that soon. But first, so I was actually I was in the midst of watching Final Reckoning last week. I got a text from Jake. So I see it after the movie ends, and he says the road to Doomsday got longer. And I'm like, wait a minute, what happened? So let me just go.
Really clever when I said that.
So I said, let me go check that whole thing, and we found out that both Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars both got delayed. Avengers Doomsday will now be released on December 18th of 2026, and Secret Wars will now be released December 17th of 2027. I got to be quite honest, it's not that shocking based off of the fact that, I mean, Jake and I have kind of talked about it a lot over the past month or so with a lot of the not only script issues, trying to figure out who's in and who's out, and I think more importantly, the trying to get Tom Holland into the movie with his contract and everything going on there, because I just don't think it doesn't make sense to do that movie without him. It really doesn't. He's such an integral part of the MCU, and obviously with Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Doctor Doom, I think it only makes sense that the person who had the most kind of like real intimate relationship in terms of a friendship should be there, and she should just be there. So that there's a lot of things that play into it. We've got a lot of photos of Avengers cast members golfing and hanging out out in Bahrain. So that's been a fun
Word
time.
to early MC University guest Will Brown.
Yeah, yes. Shout out to Will. Shout out to Will, man. Yeah. So with that being said, Rod, let me ask you, just from the standpoint of, I know you're always like about whatever's best for business, whatever's best for the story. Does this delay worry you at all? Do you feel any type of way? What's your thoughts?
Not really. I mean, it gives me more like optimism, to be honest, because I feel like that's why you get the Russos, because the Russos have enough leverage with the studio to be like, hey, so we're this will be whack if Tom Holland's not in it. This won't work for us or whatever. We need him seeing Robert Downey Jr. We need that moment for the audience. And if they say that and this production is heavy and they want it done right and they can say move it off the schedule 6 months, they'll make it happen for them. So in that way, I think it's fine. You know, it's at this point moving something like this back one time or something that's not anything to panic over. It's becoming a lot like video games. like video games that are huge announce a date, and the date is basically tentative. Like they never make the date almost. Like it's like, hey, oh, okay, we thought Grand Theft Auto fourth quarter of 2025. That okay, that clearly is not gonna happen. But then when they announce that next date, that's the when you panic if they miss that. But so right now, I'm not worried about that at all. And we've all been saying for a while, we think Marvel should kind of slow down a little bit. You know, like it's not that everything is terrible or anything, but it's just the things that do come out bad feel half baked. Like they just feel like not enough was either someone should have said no to this whole idea, or they should have spent more time with this idea to make it a better idea. So that's where I come down. I'm not worried about it at all.
How about you, Jake?
Yeah, my opinion is that, like, even more so than the moving it twice, I think that with a movie, a release date, if the release date is more than a year out, it's tentative. And I don't think that that's a problem because, like, until very recently, general audiences didn't like the idea of having a release date out for a movie that has not wrapped shooting is an incredibly new phenomenon. Like, I think it really started with like Spider-Man 2, I think, is when it really was like when Spider-Man 1 came out, they announced the release date of Spider-Man 2 2 years later. And the worst thing that happened for the filmmaking industry is that Sam Raimi pulled it off for Spider-Man 2. That is the worst thing that happened, is that he actually made it work. And so that, I think, convinced a lot of people that you can do that. And I think it really fucks a lot of people over when you have a release date that you have to hit. So there are two thoughts. One, a lot of people are joking that it's going to be Doomsday because that's also the release date for Dune Messiah. Dune Messiah is not coming out that day. There's zero chance that these studios are going to release fucking Avengers Doomsday and Doom Messiah on the same day. Don't like it. The fact people are being serious. Also, Timmy's in fucking Indiana watching the Knicks. He's not, unless he's on some sand in the next few hours. That's not happening. But I think the big winner here is the sons and daughters of the VFX team who are going to have their dads and moms at soccer games, at baseball games, because they're not working 18-hour days. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind if they delayed it more. Like, I just want the product to be good and to not be rushed, because, like, if it actually came out when it was supposed to come out, beyond the script stuff, it's like, I feel like the only way you could have made the date is if every VFX looked like VFX is not singular. If all the VFX looked like MODOK, like that's the level. Like it's just such a absurd notion that they would film this whole movie and have all the VFX done by next June. I mean, it's a little absurd, honestly, even if they could do it by December, but at least that's some more time. But yeah, like I said, if it's a year out, then like who cares? They're trying
I also
to make it
don't
good.
think the Russos want to be attached to like some half-baked thing in the MCU.
No.
Like I think outside the MCU, there's been some like questionable things they've done, but inside the inside the MCU though, I don't like their name is the stamp for quality, and I don't think they want to lose that.
I also think that with both the show Citadel being such a boondoggle on Amazon and the Gray Man, I think that they're okay for Netflix, but the Electric State was a huge, like $300 million. I know was not watched by that many people. I think that the Russos on some level know that if they don't re-up here, their blank check is gone. Like, they need this to work. They've been riding off of Infinity War and Endgame, and they basically all of the none of the checks that they've gotten written have cleared except for like the Gray Man like halfway did, but everything else hasn't. And so like, yeah, I think it'll be very interesting, because if this movie doesn't work and doesn't isn't a financial success, they'll go from having a blank check to, I think, being basically in director jail. Like, I think that actually might be that much of a fall from grace. So I think everyone involved, like, I think it actually is, other than like Disney's quarterly earnings report, it actually behooves no one to rush this out. Like, it's not even, there's no party that actually benefits from it. So it's like, I especially given that, they're going to have DC as a competitor, like they really need this to work. And so, I'm glad that they're moving it, for lots of reasons, both the joking ones and the serious ones.
It's such a big undertaking.
No, I'll say, how about you, AC? What do you think about
I literally thought that. I'm so used to you with a quip. Are you having a quip for me? No, I think the thing, it's such a huge undertaking. I have found a lot of the things that I've heard about just everything that's gone on with trying to put this movie together, that it just seems like a very complicated thing, even more complicated than Infinity War and Endgame, because One, they shot those two like literally back to back. And then on top of that, I think there just was a mapped out story that they came into with the idea of, okay, we know this, boom, 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 and then it just kind of flowed. And you could see in the quality of the movie how well put together it was. This is not like that. As we've detailed in our discussions over the past 6 months, this multiverse saga thing is kind of, it's not put together well. It's just a jumbled thing of things that happened, and we have characters that we don't know a lot of very well, and you're asking people who, some new, some casual viewers, and some people who have been really focused, and on top of that, not feeling happy about the product, to invest in something that has not been of the highest of quality over the past couple of years. So when you're trying to like really pull something off, one, you're leaning heavily on your nostalgia with the X-Men actors and stuff like that. And two, you are trying to find a way to make it work with the newbies. So this is still, even if they get all of this figured out and the script together and everything with that, there's still a chance this doesn't work just because of what I just said.
Mm.
So it behooves them to take every opportunity, to both of your points, to take to all of the time that you need to put this together in a way that makes the most sense. And like I said, if you leave Tom Holland out of that movie, then you're just doing yourself a disservice. And quite frankly, you're just putting yourself behind the eight ball as far as trying to not only land this plane, but move on to whatever you want to try and do next. There's a reason why a lot of the stuff that they've had in they have lined up in the future has kind of slowed down. That they just stopped it because, at this point, is shit or get off the pot. It really is. Like we are in their literal end game in terms of trying to make something successful and having long standing success overall going forward, and keeping this train rolling. And if they want to keep this train rolling, then this has to be great. Not
You
good,
think you
great.
think we ever get to a point where they're confident enough to early release a movie? Because remember in the beginning when they would move movies up every once in a while, they'd be like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
now Captain Marvel's coming out in Women's History Month. Oh, Black Panther, we moved it up." Do you think we'll ever get back to that point?
I think that has more to do with production than it does confidence.
Mm,
I think that so no, just because I think that they. I mean, I would hope so, but like, it's just so rare, and there's these things that are so micromanaged now.
Very
Um,
micromanaged. Very.
like it's it's just so rare that the pictures are locked in
mm,
that way, and I think that it would have to be like I think it would have to be something that is it would require them to go back to having so many things in production at once, and it would also require, I think, a pretty strong authorial voice from a director. And also, think too is that that's not always a sign of quality necessarily. Like I
right.
remember that. Speaking of DC, I remember that there was a big deal that Shazam 2 locked right earlier than it was supposed to, and that movie's not
Hmm.
good. So it's like
Mm,
I think that I would like just for a production steps. It's good for production if they could lock earlier, but I don't know. I think
yeah.
that is. I think that the fact that they can't do that now is a symptom of a lot of the same issues that we're talking about.
And if I may, a couple of weeks ago, Rod, Jake and I was talking about the Ironheart trailer. Ironheart was something that was done almost 3 years ago, and they
Hmm.
waited till now to release it. So
Mm,
it isn't always like there are so many moving things going around in that studio, especially now with what kind of feels like, specifically with the Ironheart situation,
mm,
where it kind of seems like you didn't want to invest in this, and
mm,
you kind of holding on to it, even though this was something that was shot, edited, and all of that other stuff and done for a
right.
while. So when you take all of that into consideration and account, it seems like they don't have the complete handle and confidence that they used to do these things. The biggest thing that happened to me when the Secret Invasion thing failed spectacularly as it did, I think that was the sign, because it was just universally panned as shit. And
Mm.
obviously we had a great time talking about it. But quite frankly, it took, and then on top of that, the writer's strike.
Right.
like there's so many things that occurred that threw
Right.
everything into a
I
funk.
think also just,
Yeah,
we probably mention it every time, but I don't want to go
yeah,
without mentioning it.
sure.
Jonathan Majors just had to have thrown this whole fucking thing in just like
Oh, it's the biggest.
completely awry.
Yes, it's the biggest thing. There are two huge things that happen. One, the Jonathan Majors thing. Two,
Yeah.
before that, the Chadwick
Chadwick
Boseman
Boseman.
passing away.
Yeah.
Those two things totally kind of
Like
nuked their
it's
future.
honestly wild that they made anything good after that.
Yeah.
like
But the thing is, like, I think that it's easy to make this it's easy to say that this is extremely unlucky for Marvel, and obviously
Yeah.
it is.
Right.
But it's
Yeah,
also like there's no other example
Exactly.
of franchise yeah. Is it unfortunate that one of the major actors passed away of of cancer really young, and
Mhm.
another one of their actors had a domestic violence arrest and things like that? Like, yeah, that's unfortunate, but it's also unprecedented to have this many actors you need to rely on. Like, is
Yeah.
it crazy for an actor to die of cancer in their 40s? Not necessarily. Is it crazy
Mm.
for an actor to get arrested for domestic violence?
yeah.
Like, so it's like this is just what
Yeah.
happens when you're relying on this many
But also
people.
it's which actors, right? Like
Oh, I
if
agree. Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
Yeah.
like and when like this to
Yeah.
me is to make a sports analogy real quick. This is Jason Tatum tearing his like Achilles or whatever. Like this
Yeah.
is like where
Yeah.
it's just like, whoa, oh, we thought y'all were set up for like a dynasty run,
Yeah.
and y'all had already been extremely successful, and
And then
now
Jalen
you
Brown
guys
gets a
still
knee
have to
injury
field
too.
a team next season. Like the Celtics don't
Yeah.
get to come back next. Like movies and sports
Yeah.
isn't really related unless it's Marvel, where Marvel is like, no, we have a season, and next season we're gonna run it back with Jalen Brown and and Peyton Pritchard and see what we can do if we can figure this shit out. And I feel like that's what Marvel's currently having right now is, can they do a Ewing season or what a Ewing theory series season? And I guess we're gonna find out.
Well, I mean, the best way to describe it, like I find Thunderbolts to be the Derek White and Al
Mhm.
Horford of
Yeah.
the MCU in terms
Mhm.
of
And
like
Is Tom Holland Jalen Brown? Because I feel like
Yeah. Tom
if
Holland's Jalen Brown, and I think if we're
yeah.
doing I think Florence Pugh's Derek White, and
Mm.
David Harbour's definitely Al Horford. He's got a lot of Al Horford
Yeah,
energy.
1000%,
but who's
1000%.
Robert Downey Jr.? Who they get? Who they go get back? They went
I
and
mean,
found Larry Bird. They went and
yeah.
found
Larry
Yeah.
Bird back for one more game.
Uh-huh.
they put what they say. Larry Bird's not walking through that door. For Marvel, he is. He's walking through that door.
Barely here.
That actually does bring up a thing I forgot to ask on the Thunderbolts pod. Do you think that whoever wrote the line where Val says the Avengers are not walking through that door was thinking about Rick Pitino? Genuinely, I'm
Yeah.
not a joke. I'm actually wondering. Like,
I do
if
wonder.
you told me yes, I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
Yeah, I mean,
gonna Google that to see if anyone's asked this other than me.
Yeah.
that's definitely a fair question to ask. So yeah, I think we're all in agreement that this delay is not a bad thing, and it now brings into focus what they potentially decide to do with Spider-Man: Brand New Day, because after Fantastic Four, that's the next movie. And so a couple of things that we've been hearing. One is a kind of like one is a surprising report that we got a couple days ago, that apparently Mark Ruffalo, Ruffalo's Bruce Banner, is supposed to be the said MCU character that's a part of this movie.
Hmm.
And I, for one, I just love the idea if they decide to do kind of like a Hulk kind of losing his mind again and
Mhm.
Spider-Man having to fight him. That
Mhm.
you sold me on that. That on its own. The other thing that we've heard that is actually confirmed, because this is at some Disney show where they're trying to like present certain things in the future. Like, we know Scorpion is going to be in this movie. Apparently Tombstone is going to be in this movie. So it seems like this Spider-Man movie is leaning street level,
Mhm.
and Tom Holland apparently convinced them folks, hey, we ain't need to do that Venom shit. Which, thank God.
Good.
Yeah, I think that's great. Two things. One, I just want to point out that I looked it up. The only other person who made this observation is Jake Coyle of the Associated Press. So shouts to Jake solidarity. We both had that thought. And
Is he a real
I'm
Jake,
really,
though?
I mean, I'm glad you know to ask that question, because I always wonder that.
Mhm.
Someone in a TikTok comment yesterday called me Jacob, and it really pissed me off.
Mm.
Anyway, it's the only, truly, you can call me anything at all except for Jacob. and late for dinner, and I'll be okay. But anyway, the I saw some people being when they had the announcement of Mark Ruffalo being like, "Oh, can Spider-Man just have a movie to himself?" I'm like, I get that to some extent, but also I think that I like the idea of having at least one Avenger in it because I think that there is going to be the tension of like whatever this new movie's going to be, it's going to involve the tension of the fact that he has these experiences with these people and they don't know him, right? Like that's the whole
Mm-hmm.
kit and caboodle. And so I think that having a character that can kind of represent that without necessarily needing to be like, someone he
Yeah.
has a huge relationship with, I think will be helpful. And also I think a thing with Mark Ruffalo is because they can't do a Hulk standalone movie, I'm happy whenever they can throw him in. Like that's the thing about him.
Same.
Yeah, it's an easy spin there. So now I think the real question with that movie is whether they decide to just call it a pre-Doomsday situation or still roll with whatever the plan that they had initially with it before. Now, to me, does it really matter? No, it's not. It's not that big of a deal. But I think for their own logistics and whether that makes sense, that now becomes a nice plot point. But I do love the idea of Spider-Man kind of being free of the idea of the connection portion, and we can kind of focus on what the character is going through after
I
the
think
events
that's
of
something
No
we've
Way Home.
seen work for the to me the best Marvel like films that are like the not the Avengers films are the ones where the Avengers are like a post credit scene.
Yeah,
Where like the movie tells a complete story that's not reliant on like what does this mean for the rest of the characters? It's just like this is this character story, and at the end you get that like thunderbolts. At the end you get the like, oh okay, yeah, this is part of a connected world, but we're not looking at the movie at every decision to see how it works in this connected universe because it loses something for the stakes of just those characters. And I think this next Spider-Man movie needs to be heavily about the stakes of just what is going on with Peter Parker and not how is it going to affect Doctor Strange or how is it going to affect the next Avengers movie or Fantastic Four. I don't think we need all that.
I have a decent amount of confidence in Destin Daniel Cretton to together a good story.
Yeah.
I thought he did a really good job with Shang Chi, and one of the things that he did say earlier this year is that he wanted to make this story really grounded and have real emotional stakes. So I expect all of that to happen, and I do think this does free that up. So we'll see what happens with that. And yeah, in the meantime, we'll look forward to Fantastic Four. That's not far away, and that should be very interesting. So that's our MCU chat for now. So with that being said, if we getting into Mr. Cruz and everything that he's got going on, with that being said, Jake, take it away, my friend.
Alrighty, so Mission Impossible, what a franchise. Um, Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning came out last weekend. We all need to trust Ethan Hunt one last time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on vacation, like I mentioned, so I didn't get to see it until Monday. But you guys, Rod, how did you see this film?
Thursday at 2:00, AMC was supposed to be showing a screening that was all killer, no filler, no trailers, just straight up. You get there at 2 and the movie starts. Um, and it was nothing but hardcore in my Mission Impossible / Tom Cruise fans there, so that was cool. But they did lie, and the movie had like 30 minutes of trailers before it, and that
Yeah.
pissed me off to no end. To the point where I actually tagged Tom Cruise on Twitter and told on him in AMC because I know he wouldn't be okay with that after they made
No,
a
of course not.
promise. And so hopefully that got to him and his people, but that's how I saw it.
And AC.
I saw it at Fresh Meadows IMAX 6 p.m. on Thursday with my brother. Just an incredible experience. People were locked in for this.
Yeah.
People were oohing and ahhing and hanging on everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't get to see it until Monday night. I saw it in the Lincoln Square IMAX. Full crowd. That's one of the best things about being in New York is like even if it's a Monday night, it's like there's gonna be a full crowd always in an IMAX. And you know what? Like I remember the first reactions were a bit mixed, tepid. People like, oh, this is not that good or whatever. And the thing is, we took those seriously because those are just like text. We didn't see their faces. But if we saw these people say this in person, we wouldn't take it seriously because we'd see a red ring around their faces. Because obviously these people were huffing paint before they said that. Because yeah, is this movie flawed? Sure, the first 30 minutes are a little bit of a mess, but it fucking rules. What are you talking about?
It is kind of jarring that I got out of that movie theater and I said, "What the fuck were these people talking about?" Like, it's insane.
Like, I can identify the problems with the first. Like, I think that there are problems with the first 30 minutes of it. I think the biggest problem they do is they do a thing. Like, I'm not going to repeat the line, but the never go full what from Tropic Thunder. You never go full Spectre with the James Bond movie where you don't do the thing where you try to act like all the previous things were all leading up to this one thing. Like, that's kind of always a mistake. And they did go full Spectre a little bit, and I didn't love that. But once you get past that, it's like, he hangs off fucking plane. What are you talking
about? I'll say this. I was shocked at the level of fan service that this movie did. I thought they was just gonna kind of run through them going back to the beginning. And I can tell you this right now. When we got the Jim Phelps Jr. reveal, I literally yelled, "Oh shit!" in the theater. I was like, "Yo, what?" And then they have that little confrontation and whatnot. And man, I just wanted to say thank you to Tom Cruise when that movie was over, because it's just so there's just such a level of gratitude for the level of care, the level of risk that he put on his body to make these movies throughout all these years, and the fact that at his age now he was doing this shit. Them two sequences are fucking insane.
Yeah,
just insanity.
So we'll get to all that, but I think that the thing that I think makes these movies special, I think, is like the amount of just like the opening credits when I saw the names come up. I mean, all of it takes forever. I'm like, I was just losing my mind. I'm like, I forgot they're in this movie. I forgot they're in it. And just the reason why I think these movies are so good is because there is so much exposition. But when you just have like fucking incredible actors, like when you have the scene around the table where it's like Nick Offerman, Mark Gatiss, Academy Award nominee Janet McTeer, fucking Charles Parnell, like they can talk, they can explain anything to me. You know what I mean? And like they do the thing that McHugh loves the trick. Chris McQuarrie, excuse me, loves the trick of telling exposition where inexplicably people finish each other's sentences all the time, and it always is cool. It's always cool.
Yeah.
Rod, what do you think about that?
I mean, obviously, I feel like if you're going to a Mission Impossible movie at this point, you should just know what to expect. I had a friend who's a movie critic who saw the movie early, and he had DM'd me and I won't say his name, but I'll read his DMs. Bro, there is a Meg 2 level scene where I was like, get the fuck out of here. It's literally impossible, and not in a fun way. I said, oh no, I was worried about this. And he said, all the action scenes are in the trailer and are mostly within the last hour. So there's a ton of story and homages to the series before that. I said, shaking my head. And he said, also the theme song doesn't kick in during the climactic battle. I was furious. And honestly, when I left that theater, I was like, I can't trust this guy anymore. You know what I mean? Like, that's my friend.
Does
his
local Sherwin-Williams store know that he robbed them blind? I just don't understand.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, when he pulls off his mask and underneath he's a different person that's not my friend, I'll be like, oh, this makes sense. It's part of the movie. Because there's no fucking way, dude. That movie was so fun. Tom Cruise just knows how to make movies that are fun for me. That's it. And he puts his life on the line to do it. And no other star is doing this. They only made one of those. This motherfucker is the GOAT. And I'm not holding it against the movie that the exposition is like so exposition-y. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's something you come in the door being like, for me, I lean forward where I'm like, they about to do the thing where they finish each other's sentences. I don't go, oh, here they go with the if that's the point, why'd you even come?
Here's my thing, man. Here's my thing before you go, Jake.
No, for sure. Yeah.
1,000%. Hashtag, and I said it when I came out the theater. Hashtag everything is wrestling. They talk about putting people over.
I was just gonna say this.
Cruise
he's the GOAT.
Everybody.
He's the GOAT at putting people over. Always. It is his movie star superpower at putting people over.
Yeah.
Every single person in that movie felt like they mattered. Yes. And I think that was the most important thing about it. You could talk about exposition being machine gun, whatever, man. Every time I saw, when Tramel
Tramel
Tillman.
Tillman.
Tramel
Yes.
Tillman. I know you hate this term, Macy. You were talking about it. Tramel Tillman, if I can speak like a Zoomer, is the first actor I've seen in so long who out auras Tom Cruise in a scene.
Yeah,
he
that was
out auras.
crazy.
He does. He fucking killed. Like he
That was
wins that
crazy.
scene. It was unbelievable.
And
Just
like the
so
thing
you
is,
can
like
listen.
Tom let him.
Listen.
Like
Exactly.
Tom
Exactly.
knows what makes a good movie, and he
Yes.
let him. He didn't do like, no, then give my character this cool line. It was like, no,
No.
and it was honestly just at the right time. Like it was as I was starting to be like, oh, it's getting a little long. I wonder if we're in the third act.
Yeah.
And then Tramel Tillman comes in, and it's like fucking, it's like I mainline Mountain Dew. It was like, oh no, I'm back. Like fuck, look, what this guy's crazy. What are we gonna do now?
Yeah. Because you have so many people, you have like scene after scene of him being like, you need to trust me, you need to trust me, you need to trust me. And then there's the character who's like, fuck it, we ball. You know what I mean? Like that is. But I think like I see. I'm so glad you said that because literally my take coming into this pod was gonna be like my thesis that Tom Cruise's superpower is putting people over. He is so good at it, and it is why. I mean, I don't think it's an accident that if you look at what he's done with a lot of the cast of Top Gun Maverick, that he's like, I'm gonna make you all movie stars. You know what I mean? He believes in putting people over on screen and off. You know?
Yeah.
And I think that that's why this movie works, and why this series works is because like. He's just accumulating these people that he puts over. He turned Simon Pegg into an action star. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? He puts people over.
Yeah, I think like even somebody as Haley Atwell, who we knew already, I think the last two appearances in these films are just. Let me tell you, I never have I ever felt any more jealous than when Tom Cruise is, drowning after all that hypothermia in that goddamn ice water, and then he wake up to just be massaged and cuddled by Haley Atwell. Like
she's leaning over him, and you can kind of see a little down blouse. And my wife goes, "Hey, Miss Carter." It works on so many levels. I was dying. Oh, what a movie!
I mean, and the thing about, and I said this when we did the pod for Dead Reckoning, it's just like some people just have faces that when they're on an 100-something foot screen, you're like, holy shit. Like, she just has, and this is not like, obviously she's an incredibly beautiful woman, but there are some beautiful people who don't photograph, like her photos like angular and expressive, where it's like, you were born to be in movies. And like, it really sucks that her, like, on some level, it's like, all right, I understand why they keep trying to make Captain Carter a thing, because they fucking they left their character in the 40s. Like, it's like, if I, and so like, she's incredible. The way that I love Mantis as a character, but the way that Tom Cruise has unlocked Pom Klementieff as an action star, and she doesn't speak fucking English in the movie.
No,
and she's incredible.
She is menacing.
The line, she's menacing, but also the line when she's about to, do thoracic surgery on Benji. And he's like, and he's trying to talk her through it. And it's like, have you done medicine? And she says, no, ... I kill people. I love that. Also, like, I don't know if you guys have like saw her talking about interviews that she's now that like out for her rap gift for this, she wanted skydiving lessons, and now she's done, I think, 300 dives. Like, because she's her and Tom Cruise go skydiving all the time. Like, shouts to her. People are like, she needs a spinoff. No. She needs her own fucking franchise because she is like so unique in that she can play a wordless assassin. But when she is in an interview, she is the most bubbly person alive. I'm like, they need to bottle that somehow. And anyway,
yeah, man, it's so incredible how I really enjoyed almost basically everybody's performance in it. It was just so much fun. I want to give a huge shout out to Ving Rhames.
I cried. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna say it up front. I cried when he died. I did. I cried.
For both of those really touching, and touching is the best way to describe it, moments that he has, obviously, before he dies, and then after the fact when Ethan successfully, by the way, also great job of them making me believe that it might have been over for Ethan, because goodness gracious, if it was ever going to be over, that situation was when it was going to be over. But the last message that Luther leaves, just incredibly touching. And I'm glad that like his voice was kind of like the emotional center of the movie, even though he wasn't in it that much. You felt his presence
Oh,
throughout,
absolutely.
and I thought that was a great touch.
He's so good in these movies. I think he's like he's the underrated MVP. I mean, because he's in every single one. He's the only person who's in every single one except for Tom. And you think about like these characters have been on screen together, have been friends with each other for 29 years. Like
Yeah,
I was like 2 months old when these characters first interacted on screen. Like that's how long these characters have been around. Like, and so like that moment, like I really did. I'm not surprised that I cried, given that I cried very easily. But like when he says like what's the line like we're each on the right side of that door or that gate or whatever.
yeah,
I mean, because he's in a lot of ways Ethan's conscience because Ethan is unable to articulate the way that he like. It's why I think his best moment in the whole franchise is when he's in the last one when he's talking to when he's talking to actually sorry, in 6 when he's talking to Ilsa, basically being like Ethan has only cared for 2 people in his life like that. And I think the way that he's able to be like for the people that will never meet for there's just something so moving about. It's not that corny. I'm accepting me to die. It's like this is what I'm here. Like no, this is what we do. Like this is okay.
This is our purpose.
It's not. Yeah. He's not like he's not even thinking of himself as a martyr. It's like no, this is.
And he's already sick in the scene.
Yeah,
like he's already like down there fighting some disease that we never really learn what it is, and it's kind of like happens to him off screen. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But like, just the fact that even having him in this movie to be the emotional core at this point was just like a dope choice. And him still like, I still love this franchise for the fact that you get Ving Rhames in like the first movie, and at no point were they tempted to turn him into like the stereotypical big black brute. Like just never.
No,
like he's always the dude is like, I'm on the computers. If you need me, you know I'll be by the server. Like it's not that I am not willing to put my life on the line. I am, but just it's never like. And then Ving Rhames killed 7 guys in a room, and you know that would have been tempting to any other movie star.
He's the fucking
franchise.
Net Ranger.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just love that they called you the Net Ranger.
He's a guy in the chair, man, and he's been. I'm gonna miss that guy in the chair. I don't know. Like I know they say it's the final reckoning. I never put nothing past Tom Cruise, so we could get another one of these.
Although I remember I
don't know what it would even feel like without Ving Rhames there.
I mean, the thing that I remember on my favorite movie podcast, the Blank Check podcast, when they talked about the last one, a joke, like a pitch they threw out, which I can't stop thinking about, is an 80s Luther prequel where he's in like 80s hacker shit. Like, I mean, that I think we need to see. Like that I would love to see. But anyway. And then we have, like I said, Benji. I think Benji's arc through this series. I mean, the thing I always bring up is that Benji was supposed to be played by Ricky Gervais, but he was busy, and thank God he was.
Yeah.
Because and apparently Sam Pegg, I think, filmed his scenes for Mission Impossible 3 in 2 days because they were just on a computer over the phone. And the bit where Ethan tells him it's your team or whatever, and it's like, this is the guy who was like a joke nerd character. Yeah. It's like, but now I don't know about you. I'm like, yeah, Benji is capable. He is after Ethan. He's the second most. Yeah, he's gonna lead the team. He's lead the team. It's his team.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I go back to Dead Reckoning and the scene in the airport where him and Luther are trying not to tell Ethan about like the situation with the bomb or whatnot, and trying to solve that puzzle. And at that point, when I was watching it, it's like, oh, yo, Benji is like he's right there in terms of like the hierarchy of what this team is. So they've done the groundwork in building him up. I mean, I remember in Rogue Nation, he was having to figure out at first because Ethan was kind of off book, and that whole situation happened with the Syndicate. So he was off book trying to figure things out, and the lie detector test from back then. So we have all of these moments of Benji previously, which allows you, again, when we talk about putting people over, like this allows the story to come full force, where he is at that level. And I think that's just a wonderful level of growth for not only Simon Pegg, but just like the character, and seeing how that's kind of built over all these years. And I think that's a testament to what the franchise has been over this amount of time, in not just being dumb action movies, we
No,
are building character and story at the same time and telling these stories that these people mean a lot to each other.
I care so much about these characters.
Yeah, that's
I
what's
really
really.
care about Luther Stickle. I care about Benji Dunn. Like, I care about these people.
Yeah, I
But
think
I
it's
think
such a great.
also,
Yeah,
like, one of the reasons that it does keep working is they never lose sight that it is a big dumb action movie. You know what I mean?
Correct.
yeah,
Like it's like they are able to coexist in a space of like, we're gonna make you care about these characters because we care so much, but at no point do they ever lose the point of like, you came here to
No,
see some cool
for
shit.
sure.
And
Yeah.
I love how they show that it's possible, because I feel like that's been a dichotomy that people have tried to like pitch against each other my whole life of like, he's a big dumb summer blockbuster, so what do you expect? People to be good at acting and to care about? It's like, yeah, actually I do. It can be done, and Tom does it. Almost every time out with this franchise, I end up in the situation where I am in a fucking movie where I'm about to watch a submarine explode, but also bawling my eyes out because I don't know if he's gonna make it in
Yeah.
time, even though he
yeah,
always makes it in time.
So obviously we have Grace, who is a new addition, but I really like her as a character because she is the showing like what it is like to become an IMF agent. We have the bit where obviously she's working. The Kittredge wants her to turn on Ethan, and obviously she's not going to do that. I think that she has a lot of cool stuff to do. I think the bit where you don't see Ethan beat up all those guys and you
Yes.
just see her face is like
mhm,
that. Just like that, there is the Tom Cruise. Is I was watching him do an interview with what's his face, um I forget the guy's name. Oh, Kevin McCarthy. He's one of the best like movie interview guys, and he was talking. Thomas referencing, as he always does, how important Buster Keaton is to him. And there's so much silent comedy shit that these movies do, and like that's so much of their comedy, and like that is a classic silent comedy move, is to have someone just like react to something off screen and that be the humor. And it, I love those little moments because like I think you need those moments because Ethan Hunt is in some ways a superhuman, and you need people. The people in Mission Impossible need to react to Ethan Hunt like they're in the real world, not like they're in a superhero movie. Like
yeah,
in a superhero movie, no one's surprised that Superman can beat people up with super strength. Whereas in a Mission Impossible movie, Grace needs to be like, okay, you know what I mean? Like she needs to be
Yeah.
grounded in that way.
It was so funny, and I think also like it reminds me of what Howard Bryant was saying on here about Captain America, Steve Rogers, where he's like, he's a man of violence. And seeing a character react to Tom Cruise being a man of violence, we don't even, and at this point we're 8 films in, we don't need to see the violence. Like it's not like we have
yeah,
no problem believing Tom went savage on that motherfucker with it being just to the left of our vision. So seeing
right,
her the whole time be like, God damn, because you had to go back to that first movie. This is not her world. She's a thief. She's a cat burglar. She's the slickest person in the world. She's out of there the second anything's going left. And she's literally in the room watching this man do this. And when he like comes back to her and he's like, oh, I wouldn't let him hurt you. Nothing serious or whatever. It's like, oh my
yeah,
God, this is so not her world. But God, I'm so glad she's in it.
yeah. Big time shout out to Haley Atwell also doing a lot of those scenes 8 months pregnant. Like,
Yeah,
And
yo,
that's
that's
crazy too.
insane.
Yeah.
yes, I mean, it's Tom Cruise. This is not the first time it happened where he, because of reshoots, because I remember in Fallout, Rebecca Ferguson had to do something similar. The man keeps doing reshoots, and his lead actors keep getting pregnant, and so they have to do these acts. He's pregnant, and so we have them. We just have just like beyond the main characters, we have such a heavy list of heavy hitters. I mean, we got Angela Bassett as the president, because in the Mission Impossible universe, even when the entity took over, America was smart enough to elect a black woman president.
Yeah.
Um,
A black
and
woman president would have to deal with the first like misinformation AI,
uh-huh.
Yeah,
of
1000%.
course, on her watch.
And we got her cabinet. We got, like I said, we got Holt McCallany, who just, it's crazy he's never been in
Love
one of these
that guy.
before.
Yeah.
We got Nick Offerman. We got Mark Gatiss, who of course is going to be in Fantastic Four, and we got Janet McTeer. And just those scenes are like, the thing I love about those scenes is, and so the way that the people get increasingly sweatier as they go on, like, because like, yeah, this is the fucking end of like, they're actually reacting the way that it would react if it's the end of the world. Like,
I also
it's
like that everyone because they could have got cute with it and they really
Mhm.
didn't.
Mhm.
Like I thought they were going to, and I liked that the movie messed with me like that. When like Nick Offerman asked for the gun, and you're like, oh, he
Yeah.
disagrees with the
Oh,
president.
is he heel
This
turning?
he
Yeah.
yeah, he's part of this conspiracy or whatever. Because like that was the one area of this movie that I was the most worried about before the movie started, was this AI villain thing. In the first movie, it didn't connect with me that strongly, but I chalked it up to you need to complete the story. Like, there's one, like you told half a story about this AI villain. You're going to obviously bring this to a conclusion in the next film. And so in the first film, I'm like, I don't know, man. The AI villain, all it's really doing is making us look at every character like, are they a good person or a bad person? How could we know? Maybe they're being lied to. Was the phone call real? To which a little bit of that is good, but a lot of that you just end up in a quagmire, right? We're all just like
Mhm.
leaving the movie like, what really happened? What was real? But the way they played it, and where like the people all lived up to their oaths except for that one like security guy who just was like a cult member. Like
Yeah.
everyone lived up to what they were supposed
Mhm.
to do
Yeah.
for their
Uh-huh.
country, and they followed the chain of command. And I love that the movie played with that. Like,
Mhm.
maybe they won't. No, they did. And you're like, fuck, what a great feeling, because that'll never happen in America for real in life anymore in my lifetime.
Because the
Yeah.
thing is that
Yeah.
that's the theme of the movie. I
Yeah.
think. I think because Tom Cruise clearly hates AI in a way that I
Hmm.
relate to, and I
Yeah.
think what he recognizes, and AC, sorry for cutting you off. I'll let you finish in a sec.
Yeah.
But
No worries.
the thing I think he recognizes is that every time when AI gets outsmarted, it's always people choosing to cooperate. Because
Hmm.
AI, I think the point I'm making is that AI has an incredibly low opinion of humanity, and the way to beat AI is to be more human, is to be more sympathetic, is to be that like the cold calculating thing to do is to do a preemptive strike on every other nuclear site, right? That is the cold, but
Hmm.
like AI is counting on you being coldly calculated because it is coldly calculated. The thing it can't count on is human compassion. I'm talking myself into Tom Cruise being the smartest man who's ever lived. So like,
Yes.
yeah, be
Nah,
compassionate
that dude, like I said,
and
I
stop with these
left.
damn Studio Ghibli images.
I
Couldn't.
left
Yeah, man.
the first Dead Reckoning. I left that a little like, oh man, is this too big of a thing to land this plane?
Mhm.
Like, are they gonna really be able to bring this AI thing home? Because I felt that I forget now I'm even forgetting his name, but the guy who's like the henchman to the
Oh,
AI, I was just
Gabriel.
like, yeah, I'm like, bro,
Mhm.
I'm not that scared of you. And I'm supposed to be, I thought. But now I realize in the second movie, no, I'm supposed to be scared of AI. You're just a
Yeah.
fucking cog in a machine that has an ego. And like you'll be a physical threat for time to fight, but you're not the mastermind here. The AI is. And so it ended up, like I said, he ended up ending it so great. And the messages it was sending about movies and art was so poignant and needed at this point. It felt like a satire to like these movie studios and shit. Like they should be watching this somewhere like, is Tom Cruise calling us motherfuckers? Because that's how it felt to me when I left.
In fact, if anything, I think one of the things that this movie did so expertly well was, I thought, building tension.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the way that from acts 2 to 3, you really felt the wheels churning in every scene, every conversation, every action bit. You felt it build one way or another, whether it was Hunt in the submarine suit and stuff building up, and them telling him, hey man, you only got like 10 minutes before you start to feel yourself coughing and choking and all this other stuff. And it's like, yo, this part, I can tell you, like, I felt like I have my nerves were so bad during that scene, because when he loses the gear and has to get rid of it, I was like, oh no. And it's like, yeah, it's Ethan Hunt. He's supposed to survive, but yo, he's under the water.
the The thing that this franchise does is like it's really impressive when a movie has something in it you've never seen before. But what Mission Impossible does is it has action sequences that you never considered before. I've never considered doing an action sequence on a submarine that is filled with water and rolling. It's the thing, never a thing I considered doing.
Insane. It's insanity. So yeah, so you could talk about that scene. You could even talk about them in the room, the president and the rest of the cabinet, like discussing the situation. Like it just feels like everything is building and bubbling to the surface in a way
Yes.
that you normally don't see, and that's why I didn't mind the exposition stuff as much as some other people did, because I just felt like like I was so like locked in on not only what everyone was saying, but the fact that the story itself was the AI was just getting people
and,
all out of
and
sorts, like
the
just running
exposition
people off.
thing, like, I think it's a valid critique for people to have. Like, I don't like,
Oh
my
yeah, for
argument
sure.
isn't like against them. Like, if you don't like that, then you don't like that. I get that. But
Right.
to me, what I love about it is they're so aware they're making a fucking movie. Like,
Yeah.
like Tom Cruise makes movies. You know what I'm saying? Like, he not
Yeah.
there for this. Like, I hear what you're saying. Well, that's not how they would talk in real life. Tom Cruise is not selling you real life. At no point in this film is he trying to make you be like, this reminds me of the time. No, this reminds you of a Mission Impossible film. That's all it should ever remind you of. And I like escaping to that world once every however many years it takes to put out these films. And this film fucking connects on that. Same thing with that submarine scene, dude. Like, I don't care he was supposed to die. That's the fucking point. I'm not a scientist. I'm not trying to figure it out. Like, oh no, but if the depth was, that's like, sometimes I think people take their own fun out of stuff because they forget it's supposed to be
Yeah.
fun. It's probably why I'm so defensive of the MCU. It's like sometimes people push to a point where you're like, oh no, you forgot it's not real. It's supposed to be some bullshit. No, we don't know what Thor was doing when Peter Parker was in France. Like, who fucking, is that a thing you're really thinking, or is that just like a thing to go shit on this movie about? And I feel like Mission Impossible
Right.
is the ultimate example of like, what if you just never listened to those haters? What if you literally just never, you were like, we're going to keep making cool movies that are fun for just the people who want to have cool, fun movies. And apparently it's all of us, because these movies keep making all the fucking money from Tom Cruise and them, man. So yeah, that those scenes were the plane, the fucking submarine, like all of it was so fucking fun because I wanted it to be fun and impossible, and they did it.
Yeah, incredible works of art. I just think that when you put so much time into making a scene like that submarine scene, that scene took a long time. That was like 20 minutes.
They have to come up
And
with
then
stuff like that first. That has to be,
No, yeah, no, they do. Yeah.
like
you
6,
got
7 years
the
ago,
work put into it.
Tom
Yeah.
Cruise sat down and said, "Hey, what if we make a movie where I go in a submarine that's on the bottom of the ocean floor and it's like flooding and turning over and I have to like escape and I have to do it with no gear and get decompressed and they were like, yo, that's really fucking dope. We should do that. Let's just come up with a movie around it. And that's how the movies feel, and that's how I want them to feel.
Mhm.
Submarine
Yeah.
shit is always awesome. Submarine movies are always good. I mean, fucking Hunt for Red October is great. Crimson Tide is
Yeah.
great. The opening of Dead Reckoning is great. And I think
Yes.
the reason it's so obvious why, because you are quite literally in a high pressure situation. Like you are trapped
Yes.
somewhere, and anything minor that happens on the outside will cause everyone to die.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, even the stuff on the sub beforehand, like when he gets attacked,
Yeah.
and you know, and of course, because as someone pointed out, wherever Ethan Hunt goes, he finds a beautiful woman who wants to help him.
Yep.
Like he can't. I mean, one of the problems of this movie is that I think Katie O'Brien was wasted a little bit.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I think I love her.
Yeah, she's great. But did you see Rod? Did you see Love Lies Bleeding?
Yes. Yes.
She's so great in that.
God, I mean, honestly,
Oh, that's what
I kind of
haven't seen
hate
that
the
one.
ending of that movie, but the last 2 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
But she's so good, I still gave the movie a positive review. I was like, yeah, I mean, it gets a little crazy, but before it gets crazy, it's fucking amazing. And she's in Ant-Man too.
She is. She's
briefly.
wasted in Ant-Man.
Yeah, wasted.
Yeah.
Oh, I love her.
I mean, she's great in Twisters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And the thing is, you know, she's great. And it's always nice to see someone on screen who's like, they can crush me and I'd be fine with it. You know what I mean?
Bro, I feel like everyone in that theater of all genders and orientations had the same feeling. Like she comes on, it's like, crush me between your thighs. I don't care.
Exactly.
It's a great
like,
way to die.
I don't need the high pressure outside. You can do it right in here.
Yeah, when she say, and that's another thing for Tom Cruise too. They have figured out something that I wish The Rock would figure out. I don't know why these guys don't look at Tom Cruise as the blueprint, but everyone should. Tom Cruise knows how to lose a fight. And that's what makes his Impossible White Man so much better than everyone Impossible White Man. Like I love, Wick, I love all that stuff. But part of the reason that John Wick works is a lot of times he be getting his ass kicked for like 7 of the 8 minutes of the fight to where you're like, I don't know, bro. So like that's a skill. And Tom takes it to the ultimate level because the amount of times he just gets saved by someone else where he's like, he gives you his all, and then he's like, and the one time where he's actually like straight up efficient whooping dude's ass, we don't see it. We see Haley Atwell's face. Yeah. Like the it's just he's a fucking genius.
Because Ethan Hunt's superpower is getting people to like him so they'll save him. Because he doesn't get saved. It's not luck. It's because he has such a good vibe.
Yes.
Katie O'Brien.
And you know he would do it for you. And you know he would do it for you. Like there's never a point in time where you're like, I saved this motherfucker, but that's because like you save him because you're like, if I was on the ground, that motherfucker would knock the shit out of somebody with a fucking fire extinguisher, and he wouldn't care if we were fucking mortal enemies a second before that. He would do it because it's the right goddamn thing to do. He makes everyone do the right thing. That's the entire fucking movie. The president does the right thing because it's Tom Cruise. The fucking the dude that was in Boardwalk Empire who like, yo, you fuck, my daddy said you lied, and not he fucking does the right thing. What Kiddish? What's his name? Was Kittredge. Yeah. He do the right thing. Everybody has a chance to do the wrong thing, but just by the 1 degree of knowing Tom Cruise, they're like, let me just do the right thing. And that's the whole way they beat AI. They only beat it off of the aura of Tom Cruise's Ethan Hunt being such a good dude that they're like, let's save the planet, man. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
The entity can't compete. What do you want? Yeah. You think you're all-powerful AI? Try movie stardom, Jack.
The entity has no aura. Like it don't,
none at all.
It don't know how to get people to do shit just out of like, hey man, come on, fuck with your boy. Like Tom really be going in an enemy situation. This motherfucker went on a goddamn submarine, and that they didn't even really know why they were picking him up. I don't think this man knows Ethan Hunt's name at the end of the fucking film.
And he doesn't. He calls him Mr. all the time.
He calls him Mr. And that dude went straight off of the cut of his jib and was like, let's go save the goddamn world.
No. Also, think about what he's asking Tremel Tillman's character to do. He is asking him to go towards enemy territory.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Get noticed by the enemy, and then do an abrupt stop when the enemy gets close and turn around.
Yes.
That's insane. It's on a submarine.
Right. Like, let's stop in the middle of what is essentially about to be World War III. Like in the middle of the most intense international conflict we've had so far in the MI universe, which is saying a lot because it's the MI universe. They have an international conflict every week. And that motherfucker was off of straight vibes and movie stardom. Looked Tremel in the eye, and I believed Tremel. I believed when he was like, you picked the right one. Let's do it.
I mean, even with Hannah Waddingham, where, he hands her like a piece of paper, and he's just like, hey, I can't tell you why, but I need to get dropped off to a submarine in the middle of Russian territory. What do you want me to say?
He had William Dunlow, someone who got shipped away for years and years and years.
Let's talk about it.
Since the first movie.
Yes.
When I heard he was telling Ethan, "Thank you, you saved my life."
When I heard he was going to be in the movie, I thought it'd be a one-off joke or something like that. The fact that they gave him an emotional arc that, I legitimately got a little emotional when he hands him the knife. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm emotionally affected by the guy who was shitting himself in the first Mission Impossible."
Dog,
you did it, TC,
bro. Even the way they cast his wife, and gave her a role and some agency in the film. I was like 4 minutes into them being together. I was like, I see why they got together. I see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm on screen like, yep, he had to lock that down, bro. You not leaving Alaska, bro. You there forever now. That's your boo. Oh my God, she was so ride or die.
Also, the fact that the thing that makes this movie special is a lot of people would have shot those scenes in like somewhat northern Canada, and then most of the
Yeah.
stuff, in a studio. No. They went to Svalbard. Do you know where
Mhm.
Svalbard is?
Mm-mm.
AC, pull up a map stuff somehow, okay? Svalbard it's
I
part
think
of
it's the
Norway.
planet that Thanos killed Gamora on.
Exactly, yes. Svalbard is it's those islands that are directly north of Scandinavia, to the right, to the east of Greenland. That like
Mm.
collection of islands that you're like, no one lives there. You know who lives there? Fucking a couple people. And they went up there. They fucking shipped Tarzan. They shipped Haley.
Wow.
They shipped them all up to Svalbard to film those scenes.
Wow. That's
That's insane.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's talk about
another
Tarzan a little
thing
bit,
to
too.
those two characters, real quick.
Of
Another
course.
thing that was
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
A lesser movie kills one of them for sure.
Yep.
Right.
And I for a second I thought, oh man, they're gonna. Like Tom comes to this guy's life, and either the guy dies or she dies, and the movie does play with it, which is why I love it, because it is aware it's a movie, and it's aware what you're aware of at home when you're like, I don't know, man, if Tom goes up there and he's fucked this adorable couple ends up like fucked up because of him, that's gonna suck. But that's how you raise the stakes. Fuck someone else's life up that's not Ethan and have him feel bad about it. No. They make it. They get on that plane together, and when they reveal he's still alive, I'm like jumping for joy in my seat. I was so fucking happy for that dude.
Man, them willing to sacrifice everything and them getting the payoff of making it was just great. Man.
The whole
Just
house,
happy.
like the fact that dude was about it too, because like you said, Tremel Tillman was a nice breath of fresh air, but that dude being about it was also a nice breath of fresh air, because I thought he had a lot of reasons to be like, man, fuck Ethan Hunt and fuck Mission Impossible. Y'all on your own. And my man was like, how do I help?
And
Complete
the thing
opposite,
is, like, I believe it though, because on some level, it's like, right, this guy, his life would quote unquote ruin. He was sent to Alaska, but what was his job? His job was to be in an air gap computer, and like, I buy it that he's happier now. I do. I genuinely buy it. You see his house, you see his wife, you see the life he's built. It's like, I believe that this guy. The reason why they didn't kill him too, which I think is really appreciated, is that the Mission Impossible series will kill off characters. They killed off Luther, but it is not cruel. It's not a cruel series. It's very much for the audience. Like, if a character dies, it is almost always by their choice. Like when Ilsa dies, she dies because she's protecting Grace.
Yeah.
When Luther dies, he dies because he's protecting the whole city of London. Like, it doesn't.
They don't do shocking deaths. They don't do
They
the
don't
raise
do
the stakes death.
Yeah, they don't do Wash in Serenity deaths. You know what I mean? Like, they're not. They're not trying to make you like, oh no, like, and it was like, no, like, these characters were righteous. They sacrificed to save the world. We want to see them live. But yeah, man. And then let's talk. I saw some people talking about that Tarzan's character did nothing. It's like, motherfucker, he stayed back to help them defuse the bomb. What's wrong? He did nothing. What the fuck are you talking about, man?
I feel like the Tarzan character is like you're running out of time to give everyone a complete arc.
Agreed.
So like it's like at that point, that is like watching the Thunder and being like, but why Wiggins ain't get more minutes? Like the game, they won by 40. Shea had 40, 10, and 9, and that was cool, man. But like, did y'all notice Wiggins only played 7 minutes? It's not like I think that dude can't act or can't get a chance or whatever. It's the next film, who knows? He might get more of a bigger role or something. But it was literally like 3 hours, dude. They did it. They gave us what we needed to get. Now we're just nitpicking to a point where it's like, is that even fair to be like, I don't know, man, 12th build guy, not enough screen time for me.
I also feel like, I mean, one, he's part of the Top Gun people that Tom Cruise, like, the reason he's in this movie is because when they're rapping Top Gun, he's like, you want to be in Mission? And of course, if Tom Cruise asks you that, you say, absolutely.
Yeah.
And apparently his nickname for him on set, he calls him movie star. So he's going to make it happen, which I appreciate that. But I don't know. I feel like he gets stuff. Palm obviously gets stuff. I mean, the bit where she's fucking kicking people in handcuffs. I mean, Jesus, I also just love that, like, even in prison,
Oh
it's
yeah, she's
like,
killing it.
in prison, it's like, okay, what is the regular uniform is an orange jumpsuit, but obviously for Paris, she needs her midriff exposed. So
Of
let's do.
course. I also love that the aura of Tom Cruise in that prison scene being the only thing that flips Tarzan. like he's just like, whoa, it's me. I'm like, you're still on the list of people he wants to like lock up and shit. And he's like,
Yeah.
would I be here if I wasn't like a good dude? He's like, you know what? You a good dude. Fuck my entire career. Where's the exit?
Yeah, right, yeah. Man, shout out to my brother. Say he looked like Josh Hart, and I was like, I
He
can't
do
unsee it.
a little bit. He do.
Yeah. And then obviously we have Isai Morales back as Gabriel, who really goes off the deep end because he's like he's on the outs with the entity.
Oh, he became so cartoonish. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
He was
I think
much
part of it is,
better
like-
in this one than he was in the first one to me.
Yeah.
Because he was such a placeholder because they hadn't really revealed the full AI part of fuck AI yet. But like him being on the outs and worshiping AI and trying to, and just ends up being a pawn in the game anyway was such a great message. But he also played a much better version of a villain in this film. And my favorite fucking thing, shout out to Mission Impossible, shout out to Tom Cruise, shout out to the director. The way he dies, I laughed so hard in the theater from like not just shock, but also like the balls to do it that way. And it was genuinely funny. This movie is very funny. I laughed so hard. Like I think it was an infectious laugh to the point where other people started laughing because they were like, oh, and I was just like in my like euphoria of like, oh my god, like you did that. Everyone was thinking it was gonna be like you and Henry Cavill on the top of a mountain again, and this fucking guy gives a villain speech and then immediately fucking chops his head in half. God damn, I love this movie.
So yeah, let's talk about the planes.
Yes.
Well, I mean, Jesus Christ almighty. I don't know if you guys have listened to Tom Cruise do interviews about this, but he was like, yeah, with the amount of G's, like I could really only move for like a minute or two at a time, so I would need to rest for like 5 minutes in between takes. And when he says rest, he means they're not landing the plane. He means like just laying on the wing. Because he's like, I can't move for minutes.
Yeah.
Like that's like
my nerves are bad.
Because what he put, because it's like
I was like, yo, is he gonna? I don't need you
Bruh,
to go here, bro.
The way the wind is moving his face,
yes,
is only possible if you are a fucking crazy man. It's not just like a wind tunnel like everyone else that is sane would do. This man got up on that. When he did that shit, I'm looking at Karen. I'm like, he owned that plane. Like that's not fake wind. That's not fake plane. That ain't CGI. No. This crazy mother. I am worried for him. I know the movie finished. I know he's alive. I've seen him do the press run. And in that instance, I am still like, motherfucker, one slip, you are dead for my entertainment.
Because like, but the thing is, like, even beyond, so like, with stuff like the Burj Khalifa, for example, like that's a great stunt. But on some level, it's like he is attached to wires that they cut out. So technically speaking, if all the safety stuff goes right, he'll be fine, right?
Right.
Like not saying it's not scary, but like he's on like 6 wires. He's probably going to be fine, even though it's really scary looking. With this, he's not going to fall off the plane because he's attached to wires that they're editing out. But what people pointed out is like, if he passes out on the wing, they need to wake him up because he can't, if he tries to land with him on the wing, he'll get like his head crushed. Like he could die so easily doing this.
Yeah.
And it's so necessary because you can just, the way that I want to try to describe it is like, it's like if you stick your arm out the window when you're going fast on the highway, that is the amount of effort he needs to do every single action he's doing. Yes. And because you can tell by his face and by his hair that he is getting that many G's, even though the actions he's doing are as small as him just moving his arm over, that feels as intense as anything he's ever done.
Yeah, and
he's
like
hanging from that shit from the bottom, like upside down, man. Like
and that's the thing, right? It's not necessary.
No,
that's why he the GOAT. It's not.
Really
he don't need to do that. He wanna do it. That's why none of these people are ever gonna catch up to him.
No,
because no one wakes up like that. Like, yo, I have to be the one on that plane in real life, and we need to film that as many times as we can. And it needs to be my face. Don't zoom away and look at just a haircut or give me like, you know, some weird apparatus so we could put they need to know the G's is hitting my movie star face, bro. He different.
Yeah.
It's why it's why I respect Flossie so much for jumping off the second tallest building. It's like, you got to do it. It just looks so much better. It just when you can see the person's face, it's like, you see, even though CGI has gotten really good, green screens have gotten really good. It's like, you can tell that in the same shot, you have Tom Cruise's face, you have a plane, and you have mountains in the background, and none of those are comped in. Those are all actually, that's the order that those are actually there.
Yes.
The actual factual is so important. It matters so much. It makes everything, and we talk about, I talked about building tension and stuff like that. The tension is at an all-time high with the whole Grace gotta pull out the drive. What the eye flicker or something like
100
that?
milliseconds. 100 milliseconds.
Yes.
The blink of an eye.
And what's
God.
amazing about that scene is they show it to you before. So you would think the stakes are almost like lower, but they're clearly showing you because they're aware it's a movie. And they're like, this is what it's going to look like later. If she fuck up, this is what it's going to look like. If it works, this is what it's going to look like. And here's how all the ways you can fuck this shit up. Now you understand how impossible what we're asking her to do is. Yeah. Boom. When it happens, I felt elation like watching Tyrese Halliburton. I'm sorry, guys. Watching Tyrese Halliburton hit that fucking that weird ass 2-pointer where you're like, oh my God, I didn't think that was possible to make me feel like that.
I think what this movie does so well too, and one of these movies are the best they do well is they combine so many different actions. Where obviously you have Tom Cruise doing the crazy action stuff, but like it's like the hack it and like the cutting the wires as Benji's passing out, doing surgery on him.
Yeah.
And
the president and her people.
That scene is so incredible. Angela Bassett is, she's one of our great living actors, and that's why. She's
dog.
She's
Nick Offerman getting to get the hammy death is so good too. Like he he does one of those like die on your last word deaths. You know what I mean? Like it's so cool.
So good.
It reminds you that like Nick Offerman, like it's one of those things you think about it. He wasn't really a comedy actor because if you look at him, other than playing Ron Swanson, he looks like Holt McCallany. Like he looks like he should have that career. It's like, all right, like it's my first think that's weird. Like Nick Offerman's playing a serious general, but it's like no, it's actually more weird that guy is a comedy star.
Yeah, well, and the thing for me is I've never seen Parks and Rec, so my relationship with Nick Offerman has been more of these like serious roles or whatever.
Yeah,
and so. Him in Last of Us season 1, literal like made me cry episode.
Yeah, that's of course one of the best episodes of television ever made.
Period. And so when I saw him as a general, I was like, "Fucking top boy." I'm telling you, the 12th man on the roster, dog. It don't matter. They're all fucking killers.
All killers. Like just truly like all killers. He just knows how to fucking pick him, man. I went because I don't know about you guys. Did you have a message from Tom Cruise thanking you for coming to see it in IMAX?
Yes.
I was wearing one of my hats. I was wearing my Dark Universe hat, and I tipped it and I said, "Thank you, Mr. Movies," which made everyone around me laugh. But I meant it. Thank you, Mr. Movies. He's the mayor of movies. Or like I don't use other thing where he was talking to the people at Regal at AMC about popcorn. Like he lives for the shit. I know
this movie, I saw it at an AMC. This movie is why Nicole Kidman says that shit at the beginning.
Yep.
I hate that they changed they edited it because they should have left it alone the same way the national anthem is left alone. Like, why would you change it? You got it right the first time. But anyway, when she comes on screen and she's like, "We come to this place," I'm like, this is it. This is why. Sometimes I come to this place. I'm gonna be honest with you, Nicole. It's not the reason I come to this place. The movie I'm about to watch, I'm a little less like, do we come to this place for this? Or we come to this place because like I don't want to be a dick and stream it in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
Tom Cruise, this is why we come to this place at 2:00 on a Thursday.
Yeah. It is a bit obviously ironic that we're saying that about Nicole Kidman.
Of course.
But no,
But shout out to him not being petty. Okay. He didn't tell him to take it down.
No, of course not.
He was like, please play it because you know what? She's right.
Exactly, because he's like, Nicole, I respect what she says about the movies, and I think that she's got a great point about the movies, and this is why the theatrical experience is important. Man,
Yeah, spectacle. I mean, you think of spectacle, you think of the ambiance, you think of the experience, the movie, the true movie experience, and it's why when Dead Reckoning came out, yo, I work a job that's very difficult. So for me to come off that job and instead of going home,
Mhm.
going straight to the movie theater,
Mhm.
get me a little 20-minute nap in before my brother shows up, and I'm only doing that for there's only a couple of movies I'm
Right.
doing that for, and
Uh-huh.
Tom Cruise Mission Impossible is one of them.
And that came out in June, so you were freaking cooked like a Thanksgiving turkey.
But yeah, Dead Reckoning. I remember I went straight. No, I took the train and I was in Flushing. I
Mhm.
went right to the little theater they had over there, and I said I'm gonna go see this movie open in
Mhm.
afternoon. I don't care.
Yeah,
And then same with this one.
he just the thing I saw someone point out, which I really love, is that it is obviously a little snarky. Is like the thing that makes Christopher McQuarrie and Tom Cruise by extension, I think so useful in this moment is that like Christopher McQuarrie really respects deeply and cares about the audience, but he does not care at all about fans. Like he's not interested. Like, and I think that is a distinction that I think people really need to internalize because if you try to chase fans, you make movies like I don't know, let's say Star Wars Episode 9: The Rise of Skywalker. But if you care about the audience, you make Mission Impossible movies because like he's not. They're not trying to make like art for art's sake, right? Because that's not what a fucking $300 million movie is. But they're making it for the audience. But they're not making it for just people who like. They're making it for everyone who's shown up to that theater.
Yes.
And that's where you get the mix of these big broad strokes. They need the emotions and.
I think it's
I don't know, man.
also why you get such effortless levels of inclusion in this franchise. Like it never feels like it never crossed my mind like Luther's dead. Guess they got to get a new black guy. Like it just felt like oh that's right.
Yeah.
That new brother's on the team. Like oh yeah. We'll see what he's up to next time or whatever. Like it just feels like that. You don't look around and be like, oh, half the team's women and that was by design, or oh, they go to this other place and like the wife is this indigenous woman. Like it just never crosses your mind. It's just like that's who would be helping in that situation because that's what the fuck would happen.
I mean, they don't point it out, and I'm glad they don't point it out. But it's like in this movie, the president, the secretary of state, and like the high-ranking military officer we meet are all women, and it's like I think that like that it's similar to what the Fast and Furious franchise, where it's like they actually just reflect what the world looks like more than a lot of the shit.
And it's why they're all competent. Okay, Tom won't say it, but I will.
No,
they didn't have any. They didn't have any like, hey man, I used to be an alcoholic. Can I be in charge of the military because I was on TV on Fox? Like everybody there is clearly qualified and qualified in such a way that they know when it's like, no, protocol won't help us with this. What'll help us with this is trusting this man and going outside the box.
I actually just read a news story that the board for the IMF 99-1 voted against an anti-DEI proposal.
Yeah. Well, I'm boycotting. I'll tell you that much. I won't be shopping at the IMF anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just such a great cast of characters. And if this is the final reckoning, and honestly, on some level, I kind of hope it is because I don't want them to overstay their welcome.
Same.
But
honestly, let's be real for a second. Let's be 100% real, guys.
Yeah.
What's up?
We say that.
Yeah.
But
until
2 years from now, some fucking trailer drops. Yeah. I'm there. And I'm going to figure it out, Tom. And I trust in Tom that whatever he does will work. Like I don't think he's in the business of I need to make this movie just for my ego. I feel like he feels compelled to be like, of course we can make another one of these movies. And I'm not even gonna front, like it feels like it could be final and I'd be okay with it stopping here. But bro, that fucking music start up and that goddamn logo come up there, man, I'm back.
Listen,
if Tom Cruise is involved, if Tom Cruise says it's a go, then it's a go.
I'm back, brother.
Hey, Hugh Jackman, they said Wolverine till he's 90. Cruise said, I'm doing movies till I'm 100, dog. I'm in this.
Honestly, I told my wife, and I don't mean to be this morbid, but whatever. No. I'm like, dog, he's gonna die 100% on the film. He's just going to. It's gonna be like Ben-Hur. They're gonna need to leave the scene in just out of pure respect for what that man meant for us. And I don't care if it's like Game of Death where they have to bring in a fake Tom Cruise to finish the last 2/3 of the film. Fuck it. I will be in the theater saluting, like honestly, Pledge of Allegiance, no hat, like hat over my heart for Tom Cruise, because that man, no one has ever loved movies the way that man loves movies. He can't love his family because he loved movies. You know what I'm saying? Like that motherfucker gave it all.
And
so I was curious, your guys' thoughts on this. So a lot of the discussion on the internet was like, "Oh, where would you rank this film?" And there was some talk about the rankings and stuff like that. And I feel like with this series, this franchise, I feel like rankings are not indicative of love.
No.
Like to me, I would put this film fourth, and I love this film.
Yeah, I would say 4 or 5 for me.
Yeah, and we're now what, 8 films deep?
Yeah,
8 films deep. Yeah, so I put it at 4 because I think
the problem with ranking this one to me is that it's the first one that's literally just 2 parts. Like I don't even feel right counting it as a standalone film, because I feel like this 6-hour opus is the film as opposed to the 3-hour opus.
In that case, I put it 3. If we're counting both Reckonings as one,
yeah, because I think you kind of have to. I just do not, and it's not that I don't like Dead Reckoning. This was the completion that made me like Dead Reckoning way more.
I actually like Dead Reckoning more than this. Actually,
same.
Yeah, but
I like this more than Dead Reckoning, specifically because I think the AI point they delivered hits so much harder right now in this. I think it's a brave stance, to be honest. And that why I have so much respect for how they envisioned that when they started this movie and brought it to that conclusion, and made it make sense and made it have stakes. So I think I'll never see these as 2 individual movies. I'll see them as one part of one, like 2 parts of one movie. So I think it'll probably be 3 for me, just off of the strength of that. But like I'm cheating a little bit by saying I just can't even imagine ranking one and then not the other.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. I'm also like, I'm always a little bit with rankings. I just like the 5.
What was number 1 for you?
Number 1 is Fallout for me. I think Fallout is.
I think Fallout is just.
I go Fallout, Rogue Nation, and then Dead Reckoning, then Final Reckoning.
Yeah, Rogue Nation. Oh my god.
But the thing is, for me, like with rankings, movies like this, I think that spending more than like a minute on it is just like a fool's errand, because it's like they're other than 2, they're all great. Like why don't make me choose between them? Like why don't put me under that stress.
And that's why I initially said when I came out the theater, and I was just very quizzically wondering why people felt the way they did in some of their reviews. And then I realized they don't love the franchise like that. And that's really what it comes down to for me. Because if you love the franchise, you appreciate every little morsel that they gave you in that first hour, even if it is a little bit messy. They are doing a lot of jumping around at the beginning. But guess what? I didn't give a shit, because I love these characters and I love this franchise and I love everything that happened in terms of what they put out for us. If this was truly the send-off, this was about as good as it could get and good as could be. And every character mattered. Every moment hit. All of the action sequences hit too. And like I said, when you're able to build tension in such a manner that makes you knew that Tom Cruise survived the movie, but you almost wonder, how did he survive the movie?
I would not be if you told me that Tom Cruise has it in his contract that if he dies on screen, it has to be in the movie. In fact, I would actually not. If you told me that he doesn't have that, I actually wouldn't believe you. I'd be like, no, he definitely does. The reason and I think that he wants to make Suri the audience enjoys a good time, so he can't see Suri. No, so the thing about it is it's so complicated loving Tom Cruise, the guy who loves movies, because like he's obviously done so much fucked up shit in regards to his cult that religion he's in, but also like he's a crazy person, and the thing he's crazy for is movies, and it's just like.
But honestly, it's not even that complicated, because I feel like we as a society have so much familiarity with this concept of like, if a person is really fucking good at a thing, that is not directly correlated to what they are bad about, right? So
Yeah.
like, you know, like you can't, to me, listen to R. Kelly and not like feel like this is the crimes.
What,
Like we are
once you write a
listening to
song
the
called "Age Ain't
crime.
Nothing But a Number," you can't. You lose. It's
Yeah,
like same
like
thing with Woody Allen. Once Woody Allen made a movie where he's dating a 17-year-old, it's like, well, shit. I mean,
Yeah, that's rough,
exactly. What Tom has figured out is like, I'll just never fucking talk about that. And I
Yeah.
will dedicate every single breath to making great movies. And I only want to talk about that. Like I don't know Tom Cruise's opinion on anything, if we're being frank. Like I don't know his political opinion
Yeah.
on shit. I don't know who he like kicks it with, hangs out with. He's one of
I
the
will
few
say
people.
a thing I do appreciate though is that because one, other than people like in his family, everyone sees the nicest person to work with. And
Right.
famously, early on after October 7th, there was a
Yeah.
Palestinian agent that he worked with who was going to get fired for posting talking about Gaza, and he went himself to the like agency and made her keep her job.
Well,
So
and that's what I'm saying. I don't
yeah,
know politically if it's
exactly.
Tom
But
Cruise
he's
making a political like I align with
agreed.
Palestine, or if it's Tom Cruise just being like, hey, good people don't fire good people just because they had a little bit of a disagreement or some shit, and like walks in and movie stars some fucking executive who's like, all right, Tom, I guess you know what? I'm gonna shake his hand the way the AI never anticipated, and we're gonna keep that guy working here because I believe in you, Tom Cruise.
Because professionally, he is so ride or die. Like, think of how busy
So,
Tom Cruise is.
Right.
And he's like, no, I'm going to fly out to the complete unknown premiere because I need to support Monica Barbaro because she's one of my people. I need to fly out for the Hitman premiere because I need to support Glenn Powell. Like, notice he's not
He
doing
was
this for
taking
Miles Teller.
pictures with fucking Michael B. Jordan and like promoting Sinners because he's Mr. Movies. He's like,
and now he's one of his guys.
And then now he's now he's like, I'm gonna make you, Mike. I know you're kind of getting there, but let's
I'm not
put
ready.
you there.
He just is so passionate about movies in a way that like, yeah, he's crazy about movies. And I love that for us. It's great for us that he decided to do that and not like run for president.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah, man, he's got so much charisma. And like, yeah, everyone who's ever met him is like, he looks you right in the eye, he remembers your name, and he's just like, yeah, and there's gonna be so excited. I'm really excited to do this. I'm really excited you could be here. And it's like, shit, man. And like he sends you the coconut cake. You know about that? Anyone who's ever worked with him gets sent a coconut cake every year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You guys don't know about this? Truly,
no, I don't.
Everyone who has ever it's not just co-stars. Like Kirsten Dunst still gets it from Interview with a Vampire, but like even beyond that, like I listened to a podcast that's co-hosted by the former head writer for James Corden show. They did a remote with Tom Cruise for a day. He gets the coconut cake every year.
Wow,
that's incredible.
Like it's that level. He sends a coconut. I think he says like over almost 1,000. It's from a place in LA. You can look it up. He sends a coconut cake to everyone for Christmas. And it's
he
like,
just
shit,
like
man.
him as a character and him as an actor or whatever. He just realizes the same thing that I keep saying about the Superman trailer, where people are like, people are divided on this trailer. I was like, then they don't understand Superman. The corny is the superpower. The corny is what you want. You can't. I don't need a motherfucker that's too cool to get the cat out the tree. That's not Superman anymore. And Ethan Hunt is never too cool to put his life on the line for some people he'll never meet. And that's why it works every fucking time.
And maybe the reason we don't have movie stars anymore is because everyone's worried about being too cool. Because Tom Cruise doesn't give a shit about being. Tom Cruise is cool. He doesn't give a shit about being too cool.
Right. Yeah. No, he's so corny. It's cool. He is. I was I was talking to Frig. I was like, corny is like the worst allegation to have against you because you can't beat the corny allegations by being like, I'm not corny. I'm cool. It's like, that's corny too. But I was like, there's one way out. Through. You have to go through. You go all the way through, you're Russell Wilson. Like Russell Wilson is corny.
Yeah.
He went so corny, he's married to Sierra. And now he's cool. Now we're like, all I know is Sierra tells that man what to wear, and he shows up and looks handsome, and then he gets to have sex with Sierra. He makes a lot of money. He beat the corny allegations by going through. Tom Cruise goes through.
And that's what they mean, mostly when they say, people, if you're genuine, then you will find a way to be all right. If you genuine,
I
like some
literally
people may
don't
say
know
the
if he's
Russell Crowe,
genuine. He's that good. I don't know.
but well, he makes you feel. It's pretty clear that he makes those people feel
Oh,
like he
that's
is.
what I'm saying. Like
So
he's so good at it. There's not another one of him. You know what I'm saying? There's not another
No.
coconut cake
no,
sending
yeah, one
motherfucker
of one.
that we know of.
No.
He's in unprecedented territory. It's what Jake said about the
Insane.
MCU when it's like, well, we've never even been here before, so how will we know? That's what Tom Cruise
Right.
is as a person. We've never had anything to bounce this off of. I don't even know what the fuck it looks like. Like, you can tell me that's authentic, but that means there's one of him in the world because ain't nobody else authentic like that.
No. The thing is,
Yeah.
I don't know if his individual actions he takes are authentic, but they're
Right.
all done in service of the movies,
Which
and
is
I know his
authentic.
passion about that is authentic. So
That is
you know,
real.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
that's
any
yeah,
final thoughts on this film before we wrap it up?
I'll say this. I just think 2 hours and 49 minutes. Enjoyed every minute of it. Didn't feel like it was too long. Um, I I just there's so many moments that I remember that I know I want to just go see it again, like as soon as I can.
Mhm.
So I may try and do it this weekend and go see it again. It to me it feels like the crowning. It's like the crowning achievement at the end, because a lot of times these franchises don't know how to end these things properly and have kind of sputter towards the finish line. When Ethan gets that message from Luther at the end, it really just kind of gave me this undescribable feeling of joy, elation, and the realization of this is the complete franchise coming to at least this close for the time in a way that was completely satisfying. And that was the main thing that I enjoyed so much, is that I was so satisfied at the end of it. You didn't have to do anything more. They not only played the hits, but they also gave you some really great new moments for the franchise. And I just think it's a testament to not only Cruz but like everybody that he worked with, Macquarie as well. And I was just so happy that I got to see this opening night in a packed theater and really taking that theater experience, because people forget that's the thing about going to the movies, man. So when you're thinking if you want to stream something and wait like 3 weeks or whatever, not man, try and go to the movies, because those experiences, like I've gone to the movie theaters, whether it's my wife or my brother, for years and years and years and years, and those experiences you don't forget.
No.
They're part of your memories. They're long lasting. And in something like this, Mission Impossible is just one of those things that is just like perfect to me. You talk about nearly 30 years of cinema, man, and that's
I
really
forgot
like
to mention. Oh fuck!
that was great.
A
Great.
thing specifically with the movies is, you guys know how I feel about aspect ratio changes. This is the thing I'm on the record about. It's like the thing people know about me is it's like, I drink too much soda. I think that the Bane voice in The Dark Knight Rises is good, and I love aspect ratio changes. And the bit when he is leaving the one submarine to go out of it, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but it goes to IMAX, and the aspect ratio of the screen changes, synced up with him turning the wheel. If you rewatch it again, as he turns the wheel, the aspect ratio gets bigger. And when he stops, it stops changing. And then he turns it more and it gets bigger. And he turns it more and it gets bigger. I was losing my mind. It was unbelievable that they did that.
One of them ones, man.
Exactly. And so I got to give all, because I really think that like these last from Rogue Nation on, Tom Cruise. They say you can't find love after 50. Tell that to Tom Cruise and McHugh. Yes, he found Christopher McQuarrie is his soulmate. Yep. There's a lot of people online who legitimately think that they're in a relationship, and honestly, they very well might be. I'm so glad they're together, because he's already fucking breaking story on Top Gun 3. He's not going to direct that.
Top Gun 3 as soon as possible.
And they're working on a Days of Thunder sequel. Do I think that would be a great idea on paper? No, but if Chris McQuarrie's writing and Tom Cruise is in it, fucking sign me up.
The second we see the trailer, we back. The second we see the trailer, we back.
Trickle is back.
Let's go.
Oh man.
Fuck. All right,
wonderful.
Rod. Sorry, I got excited.
It's all good. No, that's what he does to us, guys. I appreciate it. I'm just glad to be part of it. I think Jake needs a nap. No, I mean, that was it.
The cold medicine's wearing off.
Yeah, we said everything, man. You take you're at this point. I want to put the cape on you like James Brown, and you keep getting back up, coming to the stage sweating.
That's
Oh
perfect.
man.
That's a great way to end.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is. It is. Thank you, Jake, for
of
doing as
course,
you've done on the Patreon,
of course.
handling the Mission Impossible duties, sir. Yeah, like I mentioned, anybody who's interested in subscribing for the Patreon, if you want to hear our thoughts on all of these Mission Impossibles, Rod was a part of a lot of these
Hmm.
episodes, like I think 4 or 5 of them at the minimum. So yeah, if you want to check that out, like I said, $3. Tap in on that and a lot of the other stuff that we got going on. But with that being said, I do want to thank Rod for joining us once again. As always, one of the things I don't get a chance to say this often because Rod is basically always on with us. To share kind of like these fun experiences with somebody who's as passionate as Rod is one of the joys of doing this show
Same to y'all, man.
and
I always look
talking to
forward
Rod about
to hanging out with you guys. Like, that's why I make the time, because it's like, if I can swing it, like, let's do it. What the fuck else I'm gonna be doing? We could be talking Tom Cruise or
it.
watching Anthony Edwards lose in the no. Give me this.
Single digits in the first quarter, not
Yeah, I'm
great right
good.
now.
I don't need to hear
Fantastic.
Reggie Miller's thoughts on that shit. Let's go.
Great
Click,
stuff,
click.
Rod.
Welcome to your Kodak moment, Ethan Hunt.
Oh man, shout out to Rod for joining us once again. Where can we follow and find you, sir?
Just go to the Black Guy Who Tips podcast. The Black Guy Who Tips everywhere you get podcasts. Just
Yes.
go there, guys. Thank you.
Wonderful stuff, man. Jake, where can we find you, sir?
You can follow me on Twitter at the J Christie, on Blue Sky at J Christie, and on TikTok at the J Christie, where I actually did a Reggie Miller impersonation a couple episodes ago. I don't know. It's not even a good impression. I just like doing it. I just don't know why. Click,
Nah, it's
click.
great.
He always just sounds
Great.
like so like out of breath in a way. And he's the
My
worst.
description of Reggie Miller is he sounds like a guy who's trying to tell you a joke, but he can't stop laughing.
That's
And he
exactly it.
never gets to the fucking punchline.
He also just like, I mean, this is an epidemic with so many basketball commentators, but he really thinks that he's the funniest person alive.
He
Or the
really
most clever
does.
person alive. Like my
He
least
really
favorite
does.
Reggie Miller call is when when like late Kobe Bryant dunked over someone, he's like, the Womble still has venom in those fangs. And I'm like, you think you're the most clever person alive, Reggie.
I did not know I was getting the Reggie Miller impression at the
Yeah,
end of
sorry
this
about that.
episode, but this is why
It
you
happens.
tune into Marvel Cinematic University, folks. You
Oh
get
my
things
God.
you've never seen or heard before.
Yeah.
It's just tremendous stuff. Salute to Jake. You can follow me on Twitter at AnthonyCanton_3. Follow the show on all platforms at MC University Pod. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, everything that we're doing. As we get closer to Ironheart, which is late June, we'll be resuming some Road to Doomsday stuff, and of course, like I said, pay attention to the Patreon and everything we got going on there. Appreciate everybody for listening and enjoying and experiencing this show with us. For Rod and Jake, I'm Anthony Canton III. This has been Marvel Cinematic University, and we'll talk to you next time. Thank you, Tom Cruise.